It's 3:05. Is the meeting posted? Okay, let's go.
Commission will now take up an application for a special one-day license for malt beverages and wine only. Father Donald Rozier, the pastor of the Holy Family Parish at 122 Andrew Street for Friday, December 31st, 2010, from 7 p.m. to 12 a.m., midnight. The event is a parish social.
Father, get up and introduce yourself, please.
Does he need introduction?
Okay. It seems to be a good cause. What do you think?
Rowdy crowd. Any problems from the police department?
None.
Oh,
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Seconded, all in favor, say yes.
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 Merry Christmas, Father.
Thank you.
Take care. Next on the agenda.
There is now the renewal of liquor licenses for the calendar year 2011. More than the majority of licensees filed their renewal applications. And in fact, at our last meeting, I had given you a list of licensees that hadn't filed a renewal. And subsequent to the meeting of December the 2nd, I had contacted majority of those. There were 10 on the list, and of the 10, actually, 7 have filed a renewal. One of whom has just filed the renewal moments ago. And that for which we would have, if you wish to have a hearing, to proceed with a hearing on the renewal of that particular application. At least to hear from the applicant or the licensee on, from what I understand, those that were on the list that I had submitted to the board on December 2nd had not received written communication for whatever reason, some because of the mail not being delivered. Some misunderstood the communication in which it was required of them that they have to show certificate of inspection as well as a certificate of liquor liability insurance. And they thought that they had to have that in hand before they could actually file the renewal. So there was a little bit of a miscommunication for the minority of those that did not file. Some, and as I said, did not receive the notice, even though there was 2 notices sent, one at the beginning of November, the second one sent at the end of November. Mr. Locapo is here on behalf of Fairleigh Corporation to submit to you that his renewal has been filed, if it's acceptable to the board. I have the document in front of you now.
What happened to your renewal? Give me a good excuse.
We never saw it come in, but
What?
we didn't see the renewal come in.
Okay.
We've
Do you have a
also,
calendar? Do you? You know
Yes.
how many months are in a calendar?
I do,
For
and
12. There'll be a November in 2011, all
I
right?
understand that.
You go back now, in October of 2011, you write on the calendar, renew license, okay?
I understand.
Because next year, we're not going to do this. Your license is your livelihood. There's absolutely no reason in the world why the secretary should be chasing people saying, "Whoa, let me help you so you can earn a living." He doesn't get anything out of it, okay?
I understand.
He has more important things to do with others, and the rest of these are going to be likewise the same. You mark your calendar. You know, this is the silliest thing I have ever heard of in my life. I have licenses with the state of Massachusetts. A number of years ago, the state said everything has to be done with a bank-certified check. I said, "What are you talking about, a bank? You wouldn't take my business check?" They said, no. I said, "Why not?" They said, "Because too many of them bounce." So great liberal society that we are, rather than address the issue and say if your check bounces, you don't get your license, hell no. Let's make everybody have to go out and get a certified check. It's ridiculous. It happens every year. This is how you earn your living, okay?
I understand.
If no one has any,
I'll make a motion to accept the application.
okay.
I'll second.
And you'll say, motion made and seconded, all in favor, say yes.
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 Mark your calendar.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Commission will take up an application for entertainment and licensed restaurant for 2010, Louis Ibarra, doing business as Delicious Paces Bakery at 392 Bridge Street, a malt beverage and wine restaurant licensee, has requested a live music disc jockey and jukebox entertainment
go.
license for the balance of calendar year 2010. And should such a license be granted, presumably to renew such license for the calendar year 2011.
Can you state your name, please?
Luis Ibarra.
Hold on, what do you want to do?
Make sure you talk into the microphone.
This is
Okay.
this is just for that.
On, okay,
Are there condominiums above you?
No, sir.
No,
No, sir.
what's to the right and left of you?
stores.
To the left is laundromat. To the right is three-story apartment building. On the first floor is beauty parlor, and then the two floors are apartments.
So you've got apartments on one side.
Yeah, that is correct, sir. Yes.
Okay, I mean, it just, and how long have you been operating this bakery?
About 8 years.
About 8 years.
Yes, sir.
I'll ask, because I know this is an application for an entertainment license, but we also received an application for an all-alcohol license as well that can't be considered at this meeting because notice hasn't gone out to the abutters, but you're a bakery, but you're going to have disc jockeys and a bar?
Well, we are a bakery / restaurant.
What?
Bakery/restaurant? Okay.
Do you have a floor plan or anything of the bakery? Do we have anything that we could?
There is I have the copy of the application for the all alcoholic license, in which it does include a plan.
Just give me one, there you go. 1 second. All right. Where's the
Essentially, it's the original plan that was filed when you applied for the beer and wine license. I'm told there have been no changes.
What are your current hours of operation?
We open at 6 o'clock in the morning and close 9 p.m.
At what time?
9 p.m.
Now, if you get this entertainment license, are you gonna keep the same hours?
No, we are hoping to open until 1:30 a.m. Fridays and Saturdays only.
1:30 a.m. Fridays and Saturdays. So for 8 years, you've run a business that you closed at 9 p.m. and now you're gonna open up at 1:30 a.m. till 1:30 a.m. on the weekends?
Yes, sir.
I'm sure, I don't know if I'm sure my fellow commissioner, we're concerned about this becoming a nightclub. You know, you say bakery, restaurant, and, you know, it's, you know, I guess this is the first time somebody ever came in for a, you know, entertainment license for a bakery or restaurant. I'm gonna move to postpone it so we can take a look at it physically.
Why don't we just continue it for the same day as
All
the
right,
hearing
could
on
we,
the
yeah, I think that
alcohol
would, is
license?
that all right? That'd be okay?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Continue it for the same day as the hearing of the all alcohol, okay?
As of the moment, you haven't set a hearing date on the
Okay,
applicant.
well,
Okay.
why don't we just jump to that part right now and schedule that?
Okay.
So when do we need to,
You know, wait a minute, you're gonna be away, you know.
January 20th.
January 20?
You're gonna be away the 20th?
I'll be back.
The 20th.
Okay.
We'll continue this hearing till January 20th. I'll make a motion to do that.
All right, I'll second.
So all in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So, Mr. Ibarra, the application you've also filed for the all alcoholic license will be heard at that time on January 20th. So, I'll be in touch with you after the first of the year on a scheduling of when a legal notice would be published in the newspaper.
Okay,
Okay?
that's good. Thank you.
Next on the agenda.
This will now take up an application for Old Gold, Silver, and Platinum license by the applicant being Archie E. DeFlorio for premises at 680 Roger Street. For the record, the license period had commenced May 1st, 2010, and would expire April 30th, 2011.
State your name for the record.
Archie DeFlorio.
Okay. Have you ever been in the business before?
Yes, I'm currently in business now for 31 years in Salem, New Hampshire.
In Salem, okay. Give me a brief overview of what Salem requires of you. I bring something into you.
Well, it's pretty much the same in Massachusetts and New Hampshire. You have to be 18 and over. You have to have an ID. We use licenses or a passport. We buy jewelry, gold, platinum, diamond, silver, old broken jewelry, and sell it to refineries. And I have to turn a copy of the bill of sale over to the PD, the Salem PD, and in Manchester to the Manchester PD, which we have to do here to,
Do you take a copy of the license and attach it to that?
yeah, we take a copy of the ID.
Photocopy.
We take a copy of the jewelry in case something's ever stolen. We work closely with the police departments, unlike some of the pawn shops in town. Not that they don't, but in some pawn shops, they don't do what they have to do all the time. So we work closely with the police department in apprehending any person we think that may be stolen
Okay,
items.
I bring in a couple of gold watches and I give them to you and I show you my ID and you take a picture of it and, you give me $25 or whatever it is for it. Okay, now you take that picture of the ID and you attach it to the bill of sale?
We take a picture of we take a picture of the photostat copy of the jewelry.
Now, my question is, you take that to the police department.
Every day
2 days later, the police look at it, they call you up and say, those watches you took were stolen.
Right.
Where are they?
Well, we have a 30-day hold in Salem, New Hampshire, as you have here in Lowell. Everything gets put in a safe for 30 days,
Okay.
and nothing can be touched for 30 days.
What building is 680 Rogers Street?
Well, Roger Street, right next door, there's a pizza place called Milan Pizza, and across the street, there's a bank. And a little further up the street, there's the Mullers.
Right, no, I know, okay, so it's the one that,
The law office of Matt
Flood.
Corey.
It looks like a
oh,
house.
Madeline Corey's, all right, yeah, I know what it is. I was just trying to place it, okay.
Okay.
It's a good location, there's parking in front, and we'd make the place secure. So,
And they won't be selling used cars out of there anymore,
no, it's just jewelry.
like they are.
We don't even sell out of there, really. It's
Yeah.
just a buying place.
Okay.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve.
A second,
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
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 Thank you.
Okay? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next on the agenda.
No, Mr. DeFlorio seems to be very knowledgeable about the regulations, so we'll work with him and see how it goes.
I thought he would give me the high sign.
Huh?
Give me the high sign.
Well,
No, okay.
it's a long story, I mean,
Yeah.
tell you.
Next on the agenda.
Okay, Commissioner will take up the matter to do with renewal of a secondhand motor vehicles license. James Galakis doing business as Scenic Auto Sales, used car dealer, premises 859 Gorham Street. It is an open lot, and there is an office building on the lot. There is a maximum number of vehicles for storage and sale at 20. And no condition to this includes also no junk vehicles or parts thereof, no string lights and no banners.
Introduce yourself for the record.
My name's James Galakis.
Okay, what have you done with the lot? I know that, I say, what are you doing with the lot right now?
I'm operating a lot.
Okay? And how many,
Opened it back up.
say again?
I opened a lot back up,
You did?
yes, because...
Okay, and have you got 20 cars on it now?
Yes.
Okay, well, I don't see a problem with it, because I go by it and it always seems quite clean and neat. Do we have any problems with this gentleman?
No, none that I'm aware of.
No, but nothing you want to arrest him for now and save having to hunt him down later?
No, I think he's safe for now.
Okay?
No, I think the only issue we had is when you went to sell it,
Yes.
I think the 20 cars was a little tight, but if you're gonna just keep maintaining it, I don't have an issue with it.
Okay? A motion?
All right, I'll make the motion.
Motion made.
Seconded,
All in favor, say yes.
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 Okay. You're all set?
Happy holidays.
Mr. Largay, I just wanted to say I'm sorry for the loss of your friend.
Tough loss.
Yeah.
Good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm miss him. I'm first Ed Lasher and now Carson.
That's it.
Yeah. Next on the agenda.
I appreciate your comments. Thank you.
There is a matter to do with an application for WKA Investments LLC, doing business as the Brewery Exchange, to transfer the all-alcoholic license to a second LLC. I had spoken with Wayne Brasco. Actually, we had an exchange of emails last month in November in which he reminded me that it was time to take up this matter once again, because initially the hearing was open at August 5th. At that time, there was some issue with regards to Mr. Brasco and his, some other information that could not be divulged publicly. But Mr. Brasco communicated to me that he was prepared to come back before the board, and I explained to him at the time when he communicated to me just on the 18th that the board could not have his matter before them at that time, which we had a meeting on because of the 48-hour notice for scheduling items for the agenda. So in our exchange, initially he said it could be December 2nd. He said he would be out of town, and then was settled upon December the 16th. At that point, I advised Mr. Brasco that the application itself, the one that he initially filed, had to be refiled because the format now had changed. The Alcohol Beverages Control Commission is now requiring a certain documentation in a certain format by way of computer only. And so he said he'd follow up on that. As of right now, I have not heard back from Mr. Brasco on this matter. So I would suggest the board just take no action and just will wait for him to respond, come back to us. Okay. Next matter is to do with an application, or communication, I should say. The Deputy Director of Developmental Services, Kendra Amaral, communicated on November 29th as a follow-up to the action or lack thereof of the License Commission in regards to identifying the Kansanjian lot at 705 Dutton Street, where there appeared to be vehicles, or I shouldn't say vehicles, there was material of some nature on the lot, in the open lot, which would give the appearance it was in conflict with the License Commission condition where the lot had to be clear of material within a 24-hour period of its being placed there. Apparently, initially the inspectors, the building commissioner and the zoning officer spotted material on several occasions appear not to have been removed. When this matter was first before the commission, on identifying that, the board had motioned it was to take no action or to file the communication. In communicating that data to the deputy director, the follow-up response came by way of seeking a clarification of what is it that the board will do if they do anything. So I know that the law office, the city manager's office, has been besieged with calls from certain residents in that area, in and around Wamerset Street or Wamerset Court and Dutton Street. I've been party to some of the discussion that's arisen from this situation, and it appears that certain individuals are upset with the fact the way Kansanjian business enterprises is taking place during the day and maybe into the nighttime hours. There seems to be no abatement of this matter, and apparently the manager's office has been getting continuous calls on the matter, one of which was the fact that if there was anything that could be done at the local level by licensing authority, one of which was this item regarding 705 Dutton Street, in which if the condition could be addressed by the licensing board with the licensee before them, it may help to abate the situation that's of concern to the residents in and around Somerset Court. Somehow there's been a long-going frustration.
Yeah, well, you know, I've been by there, I've driven by a few times and everything, back and forth. You know, Mr. Kazanjian has cleaned up that. Being a resident of Lowell and living here, see, I do travel around the city to see and he has done an unbelievable job at cleaning up that street from what it used to be. And if there's anything, there's one house on the street, which I'm sure the fellow is the agitator for, but all you need to do is look out that man's window in his yard, and it's like a dump. There's junk everywhere in the yard, as opposed to looking on the other side of the fence. And I have been by no less than 5 times in the last week and have never, ever so much as seen a scrap of paper flying around. In my opinion, you know, if there was a vehicle or something left there overnight, I'm sure that it had extenuating circumstances. Being a resident of Lowell and living in Lowell, driving around, I am amazed that the city has that much time to be on one street checking, because I can certainly make you a list of places they could go to see violations. I personally don't feel that this is worth pursuing in any way, shape, or form, and that's just my opinion, but I've been by it a number of times, and I know the situation. There's a house right there in the middle, and I think the gentleman that owns the house would certainly like to see someone buy it from him, and I'm sure there are many, many extenuating circumstances there. Put the letter, as far as I'm concerned, put the letter on file.
I'm sorry, what was that last part?
Huh?
What was the last thing you just said?
Put it on file.
Yeah, I think Chairman Bayless summed up my feelings in his little diatribe there. It seems that, you know, we addressed this at I don't know if it was the last meeting or the meeting before, but there was a complaint issued. We discussed it here, and we decided to put the letter on file. And if Ms. Amaral doesn't agree with that, I don't know what her recourse is, but we put it on file, and she's interested if the licensing board will investigate the complaint. No, we're not going to at least I don't think we should investigate it. Adopt any findings or determinations relative to this matter. I don't think we should adopt any findings or make any determinations in this matter. And further information from the board will be very helpful. We put the letter on file. I mean, that's the only information that I would give her.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree on that. I think that the letter that we got was spotty at best with any evidence of any violations, just a statement that I went by at night and an item was there, and the next morning it was there as well. No explanation as to what items, what was being called junk, whether we were talking about vehicles or whether we were talking about actual scrap items. No photographs, no testimony, no evidence. Yet, based on our own visual inspections, I know Chairman Bayless has driven by there, I know I've driven by there, I'm just not seeing this. So, if there is some kind of a danger, I'm sure that Inspectional Services has much more imminent threat power to take steps if they're finding that there's a problem than we certainly have. And to my knowledge, there has been no such steps taken, no findings, no appeals. So I just don't know what they're asking us to do other than proceed on an absence of evidence. So at this point, I'm inclined to agree it remains on file.
So I'd make that a motion, place it on file.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Okay. Unanimous.
Last but not least is to do with applications for all alcoholic beverages restaurant license. One that was originally previously discussed with Mr. Ibarra. That matter would be hearing to be held on January 20th. There is a second application by an LLC known as Camilla, doing this as Reservations Restaurant and Lounge, Dolores Cruz Manager, that's of the LLC, for premises at 179 Central Street. That would be the storefront that was at one point, not too long ago, known as Sangria's. And the Camilla LLC has entered into a lease agreement with the estate of Louis Saab to have use of the restaurant, or have use of the premises for a restaurant. So it's requested they have a full liquor license.
I'll make a motion that we schedule that one for January 20th, a hearing on that for January 20th.
Second. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. That's it?
That's all.
Okay, on behalf of the board and myself and Ryan, and we want to take this opportunity to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and hopefully everyone will stay safe and have a good time and enjoy themselves and have a happy and healthy 2011. Imagine that, I'm getting old. We'll be home, Benjamin, love you.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor? Yes.
Yes.